Hello. Looky. 6 of Cups. Okay, so somebody could be really kind of focus more on innocent situations. Okay, somebody could be being faced with difficult decisions or being at a crossroads. I also said, or thought, see it, hadn't said it yet. It could be somebody who's like, think of the children or something. So, somebody could be wanting to make more, you know, pure decisions, and yeah, they could be having a lot of, you know, outlook of pain, difficulty at the forefront. Okay. Could be that somebody's, you know, working on something that's meaningful, but they're getting, yeah, look at that. You know, difficulty coming at them, you know, like whenever you get near the end of, you know, or towards completion in a certain situation, you could have a lot of pushback, you know. So at this point we have the 9 of Wands, so there could have been a lot of battles that somebody was navigating through in order to maintain their position. But right here we have the Ace of Wands, so somebody could be really feeling confident with, you know, the ground they've held at this point, and you know that they can know that they're moving forward intentionally into a new purposeful and inspired new beginning. We got the 7 of Wands right here as well. Yeah, so you can be recognizing that they are, you know, holding their ground, blocking off negativity or opposition. And look at that, being able to move forward in a way where they're making more loving choices, not only for themselves but for others. Okay, and yeah, no longer wanting to open themselves up to situations that are, you know, feeling like they're draining or taking away, or, you know, undesired. All right, so this is good. Whoop. Right, yeah, look at. You could be getting into, you know, a much more abundant position for yourself as you navigate through these difficulties, and know that you are, you know, opening yourself up to a new, you know, prosperous new beginning. Okay, you could be, you know, achieving some type of wealth in certain ways, but you're also closing out cycles of pain and negativity, difficulty. Okay, I have the 5 of Wands, or the King of Wands and the 5 of Cups. So yeah, you could be holding your vision throughout the negativity, you know, kind of knowing that, you know, what you're moving forward towards is no longer bringing you to this position of loss. Okay, you could be no longer having to focus on how things didn't work out, but be able to move confidently forward. Excuse me. You know, with the true desired message you're wanting to express, that you know is leading you into a much more positive and joyful, enthusiastic new beginning and outcome. Okay, you could be much more aware of manipulation and deceptive tactics, and feeling much more confident with, you know, the work that you've built, that you're no longer allowing for this, you know, other people's sneaky or malicious behavior to be, you know, taking you away from the work that you know that you're meant to be doing. Look at that. We got the Ace of Wands, so you could be feeling, you know, truly inspired and passionate. And you could have been educating yourself in a way, focus on what is desirable or that you're curious of, and you could be getting to a position where you're, you know, ready to express yourself in a way that you are, you know, you feel is truly meaningful and fulfilling. And, you know, you could be leading yourself to what you feel is, you know, a wish come true in your life, regardless of the conflict that you are coming up against as you do so. Okay. You got the Hangman and the 2 of Wands, so you could be really preparing to surrender into these changes, and You know, you've been able to look at things from a different perspective. Okay. Been able to look at things from a different perspective where you can feel that you are confident within your abilities and, you know, what it is that you have the, you know, potential to be creating, instead of, like I was saying, just being focused on the negative aspects. Okay, so you could be feeling like you're ready to charge ahead. Okay, and you know that this is something that you could be feeling content within as far as forming your foundation. With the King of Cups and the Judgment, you could be knowing that your, you know, emotional expression, that you're, you know, feeling strong and, let me see, you know, kind of justified or fulfilled with, is bringing you into the desired alignment. Okay, there could have been certain awakenings and reckonings, and you could be having a greater discernment when it comes to what you feel is, you know, truly bringing in emotional fulfillment and helping you to navigate in this way, in this new beginning. Okay, with the Two of Swords again. You could have been feeling like you'd been blocked previously, but at this point you're anticipating more openly what it is that you are wanting to bring in, knowing what it is that you're wanting to pour into, feeling like you can devote yourself and really feel nurtured and nurture others. You could be recognizing that, you know, there is a greater depth of awareness and, you know, true meaning behind how you had been, you know, desiring to maintain your position and stay the course. Okay, so it's like you could be really seeing the impact of the work it is that you're doing or have been doing that is elevating you in a way, instead of keeping you stuck in situations that were not fully aligned or desired for you. Okay. Oh, look it. Oh, wow. Okay. So we got the Three of Pentacles and the Lovers right here. So you can be really feeling like you're opening yourself up to a desired partnership, where you can be openly expressive of your love. You could be having a greater strength and courage. You could be having some, you know, recognition of, you know, recovering from this difficulty instead of just being stuck within it. Okay. And you could be feeling that you have the strength and, you know, the confidence in order to move forward and, you know, initiate and, you know, create the true foundation of what your long-term goals are. All right. You could be staying true to yourself and really feeling stabilized within, you know, the awarenesses that you formed, and what it is that you're creating. Okay. You could have created a balance within yourself where you can, you know, move more whimsically or joyfully, and even though you have a solid structure within you, you don't have to feel that you have to disregard different aspects of yourself in order to achieve what you're truly desiring. Okay, and yeah, we got moving forward with swiftness and speed, accuracy. You be really knowing that you're leading yourself away from, you know, difficult situations and, you know, wanting to quickly take action in a way that is propelling you forward. Okay. You could be really wanting to dedicate yourself to this position regardless of others' unhealthy or toxic influences that might have been, you know, weighing down on you or trying to block your path. And you could be recognizing that you're moving into, you know, a situation that you could feel is truly successful, not only within your plans but within the plans of others. And you could be feeling like you are integrating your life, weaving you know, different aspects of, you know, what your abilities are, and receiving let me see, the balanced awareness that you are desiring of or needing from others to bring in. Okay, and even with this right here, we have 4 and 6, but in this they're like opposite, right? You know, so it's, you know, 5 1 1 5. That could be something you look up. But you could be recognizing the you know, mirrored aspect of a situation, and you know, feeling that you're moving into a situation that's, you know, much more complementary for what your desires are. With the Four of Wands, you know, it's a twin flame dynamic, so you could be feeling like you're being getting in tune with you know, energy that is of you, you know, but it is outside of you in a way. You know, you could be really feeling like you're coming back into closeness or feeling at one within relationship dynamics. Okay. But yeah, you could be feeling that you're moving forward confidently and moving successfully into the desired structure you're desiring you've envisioned, and to be knowing that you could feel triumphant with where it is that you're leading yourself. We got the Fool and the Star. You could be really feeling that, you know, a mission or a journey that you'd been a part of is leading you towards, you know, true wish come true. And you could be getting to a greater sense of ease with this knowledge, knowing that this is how you are, you know, initiating and leading yourself, but also, you know, following the signs in order to be led. Look at that. We got the Hierophant, the Six of Cups, and the Magician. Just got some weird pain in my side. So whatever this part of your body is, you might want to check it out. Yeah, we got the Hierophant, the Magician, the Six of Cups. So knowing that you're moving forward in a more joyful and lighthearted way, having healed your inner child, you could be ready to align with your higher self, but also, you know, co-create more actively and intentionally within the universe. Okay, so it's like you're really coming into alignment instead of disregarding different aspects of yourself in order to you know, achieve certain desires. You could be knowing that you are able to envelop all of yourself and navigate in a way where you know that you're moving forward towards a higher achievement instead of just you know, focusing on one section or something. Okay, we get the Tower and the Emperor, and what's interesting is both these cards kind of look similar, like, you know, first glance. But you could be really, you know, ready to make the changes that you know are necessary for a major shift in your life, but still have the awareness that you are forming and creating the stability that you need in order to really build towards, you know, this new solid structure. Okay. You could be, you know, recognizing that there could be certain pain or heartbreak in the past from, you know, the outlook of, you know, not being able to achieve what it is that you were desiring of, but you could be walking away from different illusionary situations and scenarios that you are, you know, you've been opening yourself up to unrequited or undesired offers previously. You could be feeling like you're moving in a way that's much more cooperative and celebratory within your relationship dynamics. You could be facing certain fears and feeling that you're prepared to really take action more intentionally for yourself in a way that you are moving in a way that's your desired focus instead of holding on to, you know, the pain or difficulty of previous situations. Okay, so there could have been a major transformation that you've gone through, having figured out what you felt was really important to you and not just for the crowd. And you be feeling like you are mastering your skill and your ability to present your own offer and move in a way where you are, you know, wanting to receive of something while also wanting to give, and not having like an agenda or, you know, some type of manipulative tactics be at the forefront. You could be knowing that you're wanting to freely receive and give, and you know, really be able to create the balance within your environment and how things are meant to be for you and others. Okay, so that's cool. It's nice. Let me see. I had a... This thing doesn't want to close. Come on. You could be having a difficult time closing out previous cycles. Get it over there and it's out. There we go, I got it. But these two other decks were getting my attention before I started. So we got Community right here. Alright, and Priestess. So, you could be feeling that you know, whatever it is that you bring into a situation, you could be helping, you know, bring faith and, you know, elevate others as well. We have a rising star right here, so you can be ready to embrace your own true light and, you know, loving expression. And, you know, you could be helping to navigate others through different confusion or illusionary scenarios. And look at that. We got Divine Masculine. You could be really giving yourself self-love in a way that is, you know, helping for you to know that you are taking more divine aligned action, okay? And look at that. We got a soulmate. You're feeling that you are also being presented with others that are, you know, on the same path as you, or are, you know, others you could be relying on the cooperation that is being brought into a situation. These cards are like sticking. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, so we got this Divine Masculine and Soulmate. Okay, so somebody could be really, like I said, you know, as they align with their own divine action, they could be being met with others who are also, you know, taking action in a way that they know is meaningful and purposeful. Okay, somebody could have been really feeling stuck or restricted from, you know, navigating on their true path, but at this point they could be, you know, really kind of moving forward with a greater sense of purpose and intention. Okay, there could have been animosity being focused on a divine feminine, okay, and you know, it could be based on you know, the interest or desire, or, you know, what somebody is, you know, really manifesting in their life, being supported by, you know, within their guides and their ancestry. So yeah, somebody could be kind of like, you know, making sure that they navigate in a way that is meaningful and purposeful for them, instead of being led off track by others who are wanting to get in between a certain connection. Okay, so somebody could be having a greater sense of faith with what it is that they're moving forward towards, and you know, knowing what it is that they need to leave behind, what they're needing to shift and change in order to really kind of receive what they are knowing that they're meant to have in their life. Okay, they could be recognizing the protection and the guidance that is occurring at this time, and could be feeling a little more content with you know, knowing that they are taking action that they know is meaningful for them, knowing that they're receiving the support that they're desiring of, they've gone through the changes that they needed to, and are you know, moving in a way that is leading them towards, you know, like a, you know, angelic expression. Oh, and real love. Okay, cute. Confirmation. Uh-oh. Somebody could be needing to recuperate in certain ways. Okay, look at that, that's crazy. So yeah, somebody could be wanting to initiate and you know, express themselves, you know, initiate some type of conversation. They could be feeling that there is a need for them to kind of get to a more elevated position within their, energy or their health. But they could be recognizing certain shifts and changes within their, family dynamic, and could be wanting to, present a more loving expression. Okay. Somebody could have been focused on, lustful behaviors or ritualistic tactics that were creating opposition in their life. But at this point, they could be wanting to really kind of shift out of that, right? Yeah, they could be recognizing that there was negative energies or forces that were trying to take away and create emotional pain, and at this point they could be wanting to focus more on the love that they're wanting to offer instead of allowing for who's trying to take away from the situation, instead of allowing for that to continue. Okay, so somebody could be really wanting to move forward in a more purposeful way. Okay. So we have this rising star. Somebody could be feeling, like they're wanting to align, allow their light to shine, step into the spotlight in a certain way. They could be, really kind of surprised by certain truths that they're expecting to be presented. They could be feeling, that there is confusion or manipulation that would be brought to the surface of a situation, but they could be feeling, like I said, surprised by the truth that it is that they receive once they initiate. I got a nice guy right there. Yeah, somebody could be feeling like they're seeing another side of someone. Okay. We have these two cards together, but then we also have this mentally unstable part. So, so there could be this kind of recognition that, when they had been focused more on, physical world scenarios or, creating more abundance in their life, it had been creating a greater sense of mental and emotional instability. And at this point, they could be feeling that they're wanting to present themselves in a way that's leading them towards more long-term goals, instead of focusing on the negative or, putting out negativity into others' lives, or receiving this as well. They could be wanting to focus more on what they could be feeling content with, and not having, like, altering their path, or what's it called? Maneuvering in a way that is keeping them from what their true destination is. Okay. Excuse me. So somebody could be really, moving away from negative intentions, and, trying to, harm others in order to get, ahead. All right. We got Twin Flame, Divinity, and Unbothered. So as somebody, moves forward in this way, they could be recognizing that they're coming into the desired relationships. They could be feeling at ease within their own alignment, and they could be feeling unbothered by previous situations that had been, really kind of at the forefront or navigating for them. Okay. Right. So yeah, somebody could be kind of nervous, but they know that as they heal their inner child and move forward towards what they're wanting to create for not only themselves but for future generations, they could be recognizing they're getting to a more confident position with what it is that they're wanting to commit themselves to. They could be taking action within their intuitive understanding and knowing that they're leading themselves to a more successful position in a way that they can feel confident with the work that they've done, instead of having it be about you know, group dynamics, okay? So somebody could be feeling confident that they're leading themselves more intentionally where they're meant to be, instead of having to restrain themselves based on unaligned energies that they're surrounding themselves with, okay? So they can be, you know, presenting themselves and, you know, their sweetness, right? The, you know, true feelings of contentment that they have within them. They can be moving forward in a way where they know that they are protected and safe and secure as they are moving into this alignment, and they could be, you know, having true abundance come into their life, okay? They could be recognizing that there were, you know, third-party situations with karmics that were putting, you know, the evil eye upon them, but they could have had a, you know, an awakening to, you know, the abusive tendencies that were creating, you know, a more impoverished position, or keeping them attached unhealthily, an unhealthy way. I don't think that was a word. And keeping them from, you know, really allowing themselves to feel their true feelings when it came to the relationships that they were entering into. And at this point, as they're moving forward more aligned, they can be recognizing that there is a lot more healing that they've gone through and navigated through in order to, you know, present their desired message more openly. They could have been, yeah, they could have been recognizing that they've been trying, that others have been trying to block them from the effort, the work, and the maturity that they could have been gaining, okay? They could have, you know, at this point, they could have been blocked from, you know, what they could have really been harvesting within a community dynamic, and it was keeping them, you know, closed off or bound, okay? Somebody could be, at this point, liberating themselves and moving forward, knowing that they're moving forward from, you know, freely from jealousy and envy, and embracing a true gift, okay? They could be shifting and changing from let me see, what's the word? Unloving, I guess, partnerships, okay? Like where, you know, people are closed off emotionally and all that stuff. They could be shifting and changing away from that type of dynamic and moving into a more blissful position where they're, you know, ready to receive the love and you know, give the love that they are, you know, truly desiring, or, you know, having the wish within them in order to do, okay? Somebody could be feeling that they've, you know, given themselves the self-love necessary in order to mature, and they could be feeling like they're moving forward purposefully in the direction that they know that they're meant to be, with the soulmate dynamics that they know that they're meant to have. Oh, okay. I guess I'll put that somewhere else. But you got abundance, like that you could, you know, really be confident with relying upon, instead of, you know, concerned about how things might be working out, or, you know, if this is going to be, you know, long term. Okay. Yeah, somebody could be seeing different aspects of cooperation when it comes to facing their fear, all right? And they could be paying more attention to, you know, something they could have been hiding from. They're now allowing for this, you know, greater illumination that is helping for them to present their emotions more freely and openly, okay? And in a more healed way. All right, let's see what we get here. All right, so yeah, somebody's transitioning into a new, new direction where they know that they're leading with their heart, okay? And instead of second guessing themselves, they could be feeling that they are, you know, prepared, protected, and guided and guarded. Oops. You know, to really feel confident with expressing themselves. Okay. All right, we got the Empress. Empress and the Star. Okay, somebody could have felt that their dreams had been kind of dashed. Okay, but at this point they could be knowing that they are receiving what they're meant to. They could be opening themselves up to a brand new, protected and guided new beginning. As they just need to, you know, allow for the true closure of painful scenarios to occur and prepare themselves. Okay, they could be, you know, really kind of pondering what next difficulty that may arise, but at the same time, they know that as they follow their intuition, they're leading themselves into, you know, a situation with a positive outcome. And they could be feeling like they're no longer having to hold their pain at the forefront, but integrate these new awarenesses in order to move forward towards, you know, success. Excuse me. Yeah, there could have been, you know, a lot of overwhelm that was, you know, somebody was facing or trying to navigate their way through. But as they take some time to go, you know, inward, they recognize that they have the strength, the skill, the ability to achieve what it is that they're desiring of. And they just need to initiate in this way in order to, you know, get farther down the line of where they're desiring to be. Those cards really wanted to be out. Okay. Okay. Let's see. All right. So yeah, let me see. Okay, yeah. So somebody could be really feeling inspired and creative with what it is that they're wanting to be, you know, creating. They could have found some type of muse in some type of way, and they're ready to, you know, really stay true to themselves. They could have gone inward and looked at things from all different types of perspectives, and they could be really knowing what it is that they're wanting to surrender into. Okay, like there's this need to, you know, kind of like surrender what you think you know in order to receive what is meant to be known. And you know, so somebody could have looked at all these different things, but they're needing to also release the potential of what they feel could occur and just allow for things to, you know, come in as they're meant to. Okay, and once they do that and express themselves in a way that they know that they are desiring of or is fulfilling, they can be moving forward into, you know, a true aligned position, you know, and feel much more innocent, joyful, and healed, allowing for these true soul connections to create a greater stability and continue to inspire, you know, with a depth and well of, you know, like unconditional love. Okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune, the Nine of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. So somebody could be moving forward into, you know, the next chapter, feeling confident with what it is that they've built and knowing, you know, having a greater depth of knowledge of and confidence within this, of the action they're meant to be taking. Like they could be knowing this within them instead of questioning anymore. Okay, and they know that as they lead themselves towards this, you know, more fulfilling new opportunity or beginning, they could be, you know, really needing to walk away from what they feel is no longer nurturing them and move forward from offers or situations that are undesired of, or they're you know, they had been blocking themselves previously from. Okay, so instead of just like, you know, keeping something at bay that is undesired, it's like somebody's taking the action to truly separate themselves. And we got the King of Pentacles right here. Somebody could be really feeling that they've been able to form the stability that they've needed for themselves, okay, in order to feel, you know, more confident in the way that they are taking action. All right, and somebody who's feeling balanced and like they're stabilizing themselves, ready to go through these major changes and upheavals in their life. Okay, so It's like there could have been, you know, some time that was needed to be taken to get through and navigate, but now somebody could be feeling like they are ready and prepared. Okay. Excuse me. To face certain different, you know, difficulty or, excuse me, heartbreak. Okay. And they could be looking at things in a much more carefree way, knowing that they're leading themselves, you know, being able to release from the pain and the difficulty into, you know, move into a new chapter where they're working towards their long-term goals, expressing their love openly, and, you know, taking a leap of faith that they know is, you know, where it is that they're really desiring to be, what type of legacy they're wanting to leave behind, and moving forward towards the relationships that they feel are truly fulfilling. Oh, look at that. So somebody, we got the Four of Wands right there. Somebody could be really feeling that they're creating their own desired structure, and being able to really release themselves from the negativity, feel at ease. There could have been times where, you know, there was some type of scarcity and lack, but at this point with somebody recognizing their own worth, they're knowing, you know, what they feel. They've received the illumination of, you know, why they had been holding their ground and staying the course for so long. Okay. And we got the Two of Cups right here. So it's like somebody could be recognizing that they are, you know, knowing where they're wanting to pour themselves into, and following the divine guidance, feeling confident within this, and ready to receive the complementary energy. You know, they've built themselves up in a way where they can feel confident and, you know, motivated with what they can bring into a situation, and now they're ready to receive in that same way, knowing that, you know, what they're meeting up against or towards is someone else who's built themselves up and healed and, you know, moved authentically and guided. Okay. So yeah, somebody could be feeling confident with the plans that they formed and their desired emotional expression, no longer questioning themselves and moving forward towards what they, you know, feel is desired. Okay. And there could be, you know, emotional connection and passion that is given and received in a reciprocal way where, you know, whoever this is isn't feeling like they're missing out on, you know, the efforts that they're also putting out there. Okay, so, all right, there could be people who are being nosy or false. Okay, somebody's, you know, kind of recognizing that they need to adapt through certain drama they had been, you know, having to deal with, and at this point they're wanting to embrace the journey, be able to give back, utilize their wisdom, and you know, nurture a situation. Okay, we have this this one came in reverse, so that's cool. And both these say drama on there, so yeah, somebody could be moving forward out of toxic or unhealthy and dramatic relationships and into something that they can feel is truly nurturing. Okay, they could be releasing themselves from certain situations. They're healing and transforming and opening themselves up to new friendship dynamics. Okay. They're recognizing as they ignored their own desires that had been depleting their essence. Okay, and they've been focusing more on their hopes and dreams that they could at that time considered like delusion, and they're recognizing that as they take their time and move in a way that's more joyful for themselves individually, they could be separating themselves from two-faced behaviors or beings in their life that had been, you know, kind of backstabbing them previously. Okay, and at this point, somebody could be really acknowledging a greater sense of gratitude and appreciation, you know, living in the moment more easily, and helping to navigate away from the difficulty of other people's negative intentions. Okay, so somebody's moving. Oh, look at somebody's moving in a way where it says clues to the inner world, dreams present beloved. Okay, somebody could be feeling that, you know, where they had been feeling their head was in the clouds and they were just kind of you know, deluding themselves. They could be recognizing that they are really facing the truth of their inner being, and they could be receiving the proof of this at this time. They could be receiving evidence for themselves, okay? And they could be seeing that there was, you know, petty, jealous, envious, and attention-seeking behavior that had been trying to block connectivity of a true soul contract. Okay, they could have been really kind of energetically trying to disallow certain connections from occurring, and as somebody moves more independently, they could be recognizing the falsities. Okay, it says forbidden love returning. Okay, so, and then it says people getting in the way right there, you know. So yeah, somebody could be really feeling that they are leading themselves towards where it is that they're desiring to be. Okay, they could be feeling like nostalgic for this and recognizing you know, bad decisions, addictions, or you know, cycles they had been stuck within, but at this point they're paying more attention to the vibration and the, you know, vibration, frequency, and energy that they feel, right? When it comes to a divine connection and a divine feminine, okay? All right, somebody's wanting to stay vigilant when it comes to emotional manipulation, and they're really immersing themselves within their feelings in order to stay protected, okay? I noticed that water actually, you know, how they use it for baptizing and stuff like that. Like, it actually does, like, there's, like, and I'm like, it does something. It, like, actually does, like, affect spiritually, you know, it cleanses a situation, removes the negativity, but also it stops from certain attachments to be able to stay within your energy, you know. So anytime you are kind of feeling overwhelmed or whatever, you know, kind of immersing yourself and allowing for the cleansing to occur could really be something that's helpful. Okay. But yeah, somebody could have been playing games. Okay. We have dice right there too. So somebody could have been, like, you know, leaving things up to chance and you know, playing their hand in a way, bringing forward mixed signals or making bad choices. But at this point, they're recognizing, you know, the consequence of these actions, and they're wanting to move forward towards, you know, true opportunities that they can feel more certain within. Okay. They could be seeing that they need to close the door when it comes to old ways and, you know, exes or energy that is trying to keep them from where they know that they're meant to be going. Okay, somebody is going to be fearless and bold, say what's on their mind, and move forward towards what they're really wanting to manifest. Okay, let me see. Yeah, somebody is planning. Okay. It says learn to forgive and let go of grudges. Okay, so somebody could be really wanting to, you know, move forward in a more cleansed way, allow themselves to be grounded instead of focusing on appearances or, you know, what it is that they are territorial within or threatened by. They're wanting to put in the work, and they're, you know, seeing, you know, different situations from their past that were, you know, they're trying to or needing to receive certain messages in regards to. They could be now at this time having, like, kind of full circle awarenesses that are being formed. Oopsie. I know that happened to me last night. Ooh. And they could be feeling like they're more able to focus on what they're wanting to bring in, now that they've had these truths and awarenesses, have some type of conclusion. Okay, we got twin flame, friendship, romantic partner, and soulmate, and online. Looking to you. So that's nice. But I was gonna say there's like a bunch of full circle moments I've been having within these meditations that I've had. Like years ago, I had different meditations that were, just like, kind of basic images and messages, but it was really meaningful, and I would like carry that with me, like, wow, like that's beautiful or whatever. And then more recently, I've been having these messages, visions that have come up that are creating this, full circle awareness, and really kind of giving me a greater aspect of completion, or confidence within the awarenesses, so that could be going on at this point. Okay. So somebody is wanting to see you, but they could be, hiding themselves, but at this point they are recognizing that it could be time to take action with a greater sense of intention. Okay. We got two people like right in front of the beach right there, so somebody could be, there's morning and daytime or nighttime or whatever the case might be, but somebody could be going through different awarenesses within themselves and what their emotions are at different times, and they could be allowing themselves to kind of clear their energy, clear their mind, and recharge through the different waves of emotion that they're experiencing. At this point, it says quantum abundance, find the perfect timing. Somebody could be feeling much more secure with where it is that they're leading themselves, feeling that they're, in alignment with, in step with the action that they're meant to be taking, and they're wanting to utilize their authority at this time to move forward towards what their desires are. We have masculine energy. We've got another beach right here. So somebody could be wanting to initiate and, make the changes necessary to go into a new direction. They could be wanting to confess what they've kept to themselves, and they could be having certain recognitions that they had been in denial of previously about what had been holding them back. But at this point, they're focused more on, what is attracting them or what they're curious of. And, they're wanting to bring this newness into their life. They're wanting to be more mindful after having, spent time being foolish or thoughtless. Okay. Oopsie. I think I'm going to read the thing from what I wrote last night, and I don't know if I feel fully comfortable yet, but it's like one of those full circle times too. So oh, come on, why they gotta all fall down? Okay, somebody's got money changes. Oof. If you heard my back crack, but that felt good. Somebody's moving forward more towards, their desired opportunity, okay, recognizing their untapped potential, and they are, wanting to dive more into the possibilities, following their dreams, believing in themselves. They've made up their mind, and they're looking beyond appearances, and they're wanting to, get to hidden depths of a situation. Somebody could have had some type of self-actualization, and they're wanting to receive more intentionally when it comes to what they're desiring of and had been keeping to themselves. Okay, they could have been exhausted in karmic scenarios and feeling burned out, burdened, and empty. They're wanting to open themselves up to what their true destiny is. All right, let's see what this is. All right, they could be recognizing toxic dynamics. you know, in situations. And at this point, they're wanting to move forward confidently, protecting the situation, okay? And taking the action they know that they're meant to. Okay. Somebody's recognizing that they, you know, even if they're stressed out, they could be recognizing that they are being protected and prevented from harm. Okay, we have Archangel Michael right here and divine intervention. So somebody could be feeling that there is, you know, they could be openly moving in a more stress-free way towards, you know, what they feel is a wish come true and their desired communication. Okay. They could be recognizing that, you know, what it is that they have that's meant to come into their life is, you know, possibly being blocked from them or regulated until they create the true connections with what it is that they are, you know, wanting to tune into. Okay. So yeah, somebody could be, you know, like, if you know that somebody's going to, you know, like, let's say you got a bag of burritos or something, and you know that somebody's gonna, there's 10 burritos, and this guy over here is gonna eat 9 burritos, and you're not gonna get anything, and then they aren't gonna add anything else in the situation. I know burritos, whatever, but like, maybe, you know, if you know that somebody else isn't gonna be coming into the situation where there's a mutual respect and appreciation or decency, then you're not going to want to bring in, you know, what you could be abundant within into a situation that's going to just have those things taken away from you when you know that you were the one who's putting the work in to receive this, you know. So anyway, burritos. So yeah, somebody could have been in a position where they were, you know, falsifying themselves, concealing their truth and wearing a mask. And they could be recognizing that that had led them towards a greater sense of isolation or feeling that they were missing out. So at this point, they're wanting to, you know, maintain boundaries for themselves and move forward in a way that they are, you know, really focused and utilizing their willpower, okay? They could be dealing with frustration when it comes to addiction or irreconcilable differences in certain ways, but they could also be grounding themselves to get to a greater sense of confidence with what it is that they're not doing, which would be, you know, kind of engaging in petty behavior. Okay. Somebody could be recognizing that Archangel Raphael is helping navigate through worry, confusion, or anxiety. Okay. Helping to see the truth and recognize, you know, instead of feeling, you know, there isn't a need to express themselves, somebody's getting to more intentional, joyful expression, okay? They're recognizing certain disloyal situations and seeing the truth in you know, lustful connections, okay? They're creating a greater awareness. It says coming to light and finding out, and another card just said the same thing, so there could be different things that are, you know, coming into their awareness, and they could be seeing how they'd been avoiding their true feelings, okay, based on hurt, but at this point they're wanting to be intentional and assertive when it comes to closing out cycles, okay? They've learned what they needed to, and they could have felt, you know, hopeless previously, and at this point, they're kind of recognizing that was based on the toxicity they were surrounded by, okay? And the fact that they're avoiding reality or, you know, their heart, okay? At this point, somebody's wanting to remove negativity and come into some type of compromise, meet halfway, with some type of desired offer with a feminine energy. And somebody's ready to take, you know, some type of leap of faith, knowing that they are protected and there is a net that will be catching them as they take action. Okay. Well, that's cool. Let's see. 5440. Okay, I'm going to read this really quick. Hopefully it makes sense. Doesn't sound like babble. But it was like this really meaningful experience for me. I have these meditations and visions where I see these things and all this stuff is going on. But it's kind of like you kind of lose track with, you know, oh, that was interesting or that was fun or whatever. And this one came up where it was really reminding me of all the different situations that I really had experienced that were just kind of like, oh, that happened, and then we go on with our lives, but like they were really meaningful, right? So I'm just gonna read it. It kind of started out like a journal entry, but it doesn't have to be. It's just kind of the way. Anyway. So I added my final copy of my book to my writer's critique group today. I'm nervous about what the responses might be, but I just had a beautiful experience that made me remember what this is all about. Okay, in the first place, I'll just add that in. So throughout my meditations, I've been transmuting light, darkness into light. I don't force the light on, I invite the light to turn on. The darkness doesn't know it's not turned on. Sometimes something happens and a light turns off, but when it's off and in darkness, it doesn't know or remember it's meant to be on. And it seems like I'm like dragging it on or whatever. There might have been a lot of light trapped in darkness, or there has been a lot of light trapped in darkness, not finding its way back. But when it turns on, no matter where it is, it will be fine. It will then be on and able to shine its light on others in order for them to be able to turn on their own light. So I got a little off track, but today in my channeling, I had a very loving understanding that I had been aiding and guiding lost souls and innocents back to the light in order to transmute and turn their lights back on and reconnect with Source. Tonight was like a knock on the door by all the sweet souls who were ready, waiting, and knew that I would help. I let them in a way that seemed like they were coming from the bottom of a treehouse. I was doing channeling movements and could see a wave of dark energy coming up towards me for transmutation. I opened my hands lovingly to receive them. At one point I was receiving them like a chin in my hand, embracing these souls as a loving mother would, with a look of pure love in their heart. You know, you know. Anyway, seeing the beautiful light transmuting the darkness to love, I knew that we're preparing for heaven on earth and felt the shift of the upgrade. It was really intense. And like my words don't even help with like the true experience that it was anyway. So heaven on earth is a mirror that makes you see your true self. Even those who shy away will see themselves eventually. I'm so happy all those beautiful souls found their light. So I know it sounds cheesy. I know it sounds cheesy, but I know what I experienced too. Like it was like, so I closed my eyes and there's these pixels and there's the darkness and the light and everything. And, I've gone through these different meditations before where it's like, these are the things that I've been shown and how to navigate through and how to shift this and how to change that and all these things. And so now it's just kind of like a natural, you know, way I do things. And, in this one, it was just like this like flood of energy coming towards me. And instead of like in previous times, I would have been, oh no, I'm scared. I don't know what's happening or whatever, you know. This time I was just like, come on, baby. And it was like all I had to do was like, oh my gosh, there was a funny part that I forgot to write down. But I saw this like cord and it was like connecting, you know, divine to the earth, and there's like this outer me that was outside on the on the outside of the cord thing, and it was like climbing up like a beanstalk type of thing, and it like looked over and it's like, you're transmuting, right? And I was like, oh, sorry. So I had to like activate my like transmutation or whatever, you know, and I'm like, whoopsie, you know, but like I was just like watching it like a movie, like all like enthralled. And, but like, so as I was transmuting, you know, transferring or shifting the energy of the darkness into, you know, this love filter, it was connecting the, you know, the cord or whatever from the divine, from the, you know, heaven to the earth, cord or whatever, you know, and, it was like there's this having to be connected, and it made me think of like, you know, regular, like a battery cord, like, you know, charging your phone, right? You know, like you want this whole entire cord to be whole, right, in order to connect from one spot to another. And if there's a hole in here or a rip in here, then this whole thing is jeopardized and, you know, could be dangerous, right? But it was like there's this understanding that I had to get to, that I had to transmute the entire cord in order for the connectivity to be something that could be, you know, relied upon as a foundational aspect, you know. So it was this whole, you know, I'm probably explaining it in a confusing way, but it was, you know, I had a lot of visuals that were going on, and it was, you know, like I was in this scene and stuff. But at one point, like I was like transmuting, and I could see the green light filter, you know, kind of permeating through, and it was bringing this, you know, energy down and into the earth. And it was just like this beautiful, you know, moment, right, you know, in this meditation. And then my son comes in, and he was like, I just wanted to say I love you and give you a hug. And I was like, oh my God. So like perfect timing. He still doesn't know that part yet, but I was just like, you know, I had my eyes closed in meditation, and I probably looked, you know, wacko or whatever. But I was like, wow, that was so sweet, because it was like him coming in was helping me to also be putting out that loving energy that I was striving to do, and keep my elevated expression in order to create that connection. So anyway, I go now. But no, so there was like a bunch of you know, kind of full circle awarenesses, knowing that, you know, the work that I had been doing, even though it seemed like it was, you know, a little bit here and there, you know, there's been this like expansion, and there are major shifts that are going to be occurring based on you know, where it had started and where it is now, you know. So anyway, if you're going through whatever it is that you're going through, you might be feeling, you know, discouraged in certain ways, but, you know, just keep going. Remind yourself of where you've been, what you've gone through, and, you know, continue to follow your guidance and where you're being led, and take your time, don't rush. But I'm gonna go now. All right, hopefully this helped. Bye-bye.